All right, peace to the family. All right, let's go ahead and get this, show started. I know we're a couple of minutes late, so we're gonna go ahead and get right down to it. I'm gonna start introductions off myself. That's just because that's how I got them organized up in there now. So again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon, NMLS 1541210. It's at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. I am a mortgage broker and a luxury agent, along with published author, so on and so forth. So go to my website here, www.flywithme.com, if you want to book me for a consultation, or if you want to go ahead and start getting a mortgage together, or if you want to pull cash out, or if you want to get pre-qualified for the income tax time. It's about that time right now. So go to my website, flywithme.com. Go to the YouTube channel at Being That Loan Officer. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll read all comments live on the air. So go ahead and participate and engage in the show. You can call me 24/7, 832-775-8357. You can call me 24/7. And again, it's at Big That Loan Officer on all social media. That's the YouTube, that's the Instagram, that's the Twitch, that's the TikTok. Follow me. Also the website www.brandonbdixon.com. I have the temp site up right now where you can go check out me on check me out on the luxury agent side, but I got somebody that's working on the website right now. I got to do it big, so I got a nice website getting made as we speak. The webinar Doors and Dolls, I got a flyer that's gonna be coming out real soon. It's gonna be January 6th, 2024. We're gonna talk about the investment club. We're gonna talk about having more dogs and more doors, man, for 2024. So broaden your horizons. And then last but not least, go to my website, www.clcinvestmentclub.com. If you want to join my investment club, you want to get into real estate and you want to mitigate your risk, go ahead and actually, are we live? I thought I got the tick. Let's see, checking. I got it on some. I usually get the actual tick. Let's see, checking. All right, so yeah,
are we live?
Yeah, because
my LinkedIn is showing like
I usually have the timer on there, so the timer's not on there, so that's weird. So, all right, so CJ, go ahead and I got you queued up here.
All right, I got to shorten mine up again.
All right.
What's up, everybody? CJ, the realtor, broker, owner of Greenwood Realty Group. Follow me on social media at CJ Sales Texas at CJSELLSTX. Give me a follow on there. Let's collab. Also, we got the website, greenwoodrealtytx.com. If you're a buyer looking to see what's available on the market, if you're a seller wanting to know what your home value is worth, or if you're an agent looking to join a Rockstar team, we have all the information on greenwoodrealtytx.com. So go on there and check that out. So, of course, we're broadcasting live on the YouTube channel right now, too, CJ the Realtor, where we also show our Home Tours Lux Edition, showing you some of the nicer luxury homes in Houston and in the suburbs surrounding Houston, just showing you what's out there, what everything looks like in these certain areas. So if you're interested in that, go check out the YouTube channel at CJ the Realtor. And, of course, we always give back. Our mentorship program is the Mansa Academy. Check out the mansaacademy.org, where we're teaching our young men knowledge of self-improvement, and entrepreneurship. If you're willing and ready to donate, or you want more information, go to the website. We have the forms and everything online for you.
Got you, Hyman. I got you queued up. Actually, everything's flowing in sequential order.
What's going on? This is Hyman Limits with H&L Premier Realty. If you have any questions about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me at 832-235-0985 here to help you with your investing needs primarily.
Gotcha. And Patrick, got you queued up. This is actually I got him queued up and smooth now.
So
Patrick.
well, I appreciate that. As you can see, he put my website there, www.chevalierwealth.com. That's where you can learn more about myself and my practice and my process. Definitely check out my YouTube page and my other social media channels. If you Google Chevalier Wealth, those will definitely come up for you. We do a weekly market update where we talk about what happened in the markets this past week and what you can look forward to in the markets this week and how that affects your portfolio. And then lastly, I do a portfolio themes that's on my YouTube once a week, where I talk about opportunities in the market and how you can take advantage of those based on facts and numbers. So definitely look out for that. It's some really good information for you guys.
Gotcha. Actually, Corey, you right on time. I actually have you up next.
All right. Corey Smith, Commodore Mortgage, here for all your mortgage needs.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So, yeah, let me go ahead and put the banner up for right now. But I got a couple of vids. Everybody liked the reaction show. I don't know. I'm not seeing. Did everybody check check? Hold on. Let me check this YouTube, Facebook to see if we live on this Facebook. All right.
I'm live on LinkedIn.
Okay, cool.
I took a look and saw that it was on Facebook as well.
Cool. All right, so let's go get the party started, man. A lot of people liked the reaction videos last week, so we're gonna kind of keep that theme, man. And I got a series of 3 to 4 more new videos that we're gonna react to, and it's all about real estate, man. All about our business and all about the world of real estate. And this one is going to kind of skew to a little bit more of the economy that way, because we got Patrick here. He's the financial advisor on the panel. So we're going to talk about the current state of the economy, man, because I'm actually feeling a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's the cheap in me, but I'm actually feeling the pinch a little bit. Like, man, this is starting to get ridiculous, man. I had an hour argument with my insurance. They raised my insurance. I'm a diamond customer. I barely drive. Like, why are you raising my insurance? Oh, because it costs us more to do business in Texas. What I got to do with that?
Man, I got to find this Patrice O'Neal clip. He was like talking about inflation. It's fun in the mud, but we probably can't show it on here. But I had to send it to y'all.
Right. So let's talk about the economy. Let's start with the first clip here, and we're gonna go ahead and react to it. And let's go ahead and get this party started, man. All right. So let me share my screen here. Can y'all see this?
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get it. A woman in Chicago bought the same things in 2023 and it went up to $72. But you know what people aren't talking about? The income. In 1990, Kevin spent $19 and the median household income was around $40,000. Fast forward to 2022, the groceries basically doubled and so did the income. So that makes sense. But then if you hop just 12 more months, and let's be generous because this is Chicago, this is one grocery store that doesn't represent all of America. Let's bring this down to even $62 to be a little fair here. That's still a 1.4 times increase on the groceries. So if income would have kept up with these groceries, the average American family should be bringing in $113,000 a year, not 81. And how funny is this? Look at the housing prices. The same thing. There's a pattern. In 1990, the average home was $78,000, median household income $40,000, and you only needed $21,000 to qualify for this house in the 90s. Fast forward to today, the average home sits at $412,000 in this country. The median household income is $81,000. And guess what you need to earn to qualify for this house? $115,000. It's the exact same thing as the groceries because everything in this country in the past 3 years has literally gone up anywhere from 20 to 60% except the income. The movie Home Alone in 1990.
All right, so here we go. So I'll open the floor up. I mean, so basically, y'all seen it. What do y'all think? I'll go ahead and open it up. No particular order.
I mean, that's real. So from a real estate standpoint, and as far as income with inflation with home prices here, one thing that's throwing us off is the influx of people coming from out of these other states where they have to have a higher income to survive. So the cost of living is so much more in these other places. They come here and win because they have that same income compared to somebody that's local. They can't afford the higher cost and prices on home sales and things like that. So I think that's another thing that attributes to the high cost as far as Houston's concerned, but that's a whole nother deal with groceries.
Right. Go ahead. Anybody want to hop in there?
That's why I started a garden. I'm growing my own stuff, man.
Right. Let's get this system, man. Right.
I'm about to make me a farm in a minute.
For real.
What do y'all think? Just to recap, like he showed, like the average groceries in 1990 when Home Alone came out was $19. Average, it doubled in 30-something years, 32 years to 45, doubled and then some. And then within the last 12 months, it went up another 1.6. This in the last 12 months. But at the same time, wages have stayed flat. So everybody's feeling the pinch now. Like I said, I went yesterday. I got berries. That's another thing. You can't find seeded watermelons anywhere no more. Like let's say our seeded watermelons extinct. You know, so
it ain't watermelon season yet.
Yeah, that's your issue. That's the problem. You should be shopping watermelon in the winter, man.
Right, but I mean, you still should be able to find something.
No,
Nah,
you know,
nope.
So,
not if it ain't in season.
Right, so I got 2 seedless watermelons.
All right.
You know.
You are the reason. You are the reason for what's going on. Be buying stuff out of season so that the folks in the lab trying to get you served.
Yeah, some seedless watermelon, some berries and blackberries, some blueberries, blackberries, some almond milk.
Once again, everything out of season again.
Almond milk is straight from almonds. You know,
Man, when the last time you got milk from an almond by yourself?
That is a process.
You got to. All you do is put it in the cheesecloth and pour water on it. But anyway, that I didn't even fill up the child's seat in the front, and it was $50, $51 is some change.
Oh, yeah,
that's typical.
When it really got crazy, a dozen eggs was like $9, $10.
Right. So I'm feeling the cramp. Like, man, I'm gonna have to start eating every other day. You know, I'm about to go on the economy diet. You know, so it's like it's getting outrageous. I mean, anybody want to relate it to anything about this economy? Want to relate it to real estate? What do you think? What do you think about this?
Say, man. So,
I think one of the key points about the income. You got it, Hyman.
Go ahead, you want me to go first? All right, I got you like this, man. So last year I had an interesting situation with my kids. My daughter decided to be a part of the FFA, Future Farmers of America. So we raised a pig. The cost of raising a pig at that time was right at about the pig ate a bag was 35 pounds. So a pig took almost 2.5 bags, which is 70, almost 100 pounds a month. We kept the pig for a month. Each individual bag cost $35. At that time, they told us that feed went up twice what it used to be, when it used to be like $20 to $35. So the cost of raising the food that we have, whether it be animals or gardening, like how CJ said he's gonna grow a garden in the backyard, and Corey said he's gonna be a farmer. The cost of doing that has went up, and so of course, since that cost has went up, the farmers and the ranchers pass that cost on to the processor, which in turn pass that cost on to us. Your seedless watermelon was a great analogy you put. We have got to stop. If we want to try to get a wrangle on food costs to a degree, we have got to stop buying food that's out of season. Those berries that you got, that was imported probably from another country that's in the summertime right now. So you can have your berries in the heart of winter. So that's an expense that the quote unquote grocery store has to pass on to the consumer because we want blueberry and raspberries in December here in Texas.
Yeah, you're paying for that gas for that flight.
Yep.
To get that over.
To get that here. Right. And if you notice when you ate it, it just didn't taste right as if you would have bought it in season, sweet and juicy. No offense.
Right. Anybody else?
The key is to hit these farmers markets, man. You gotta buy local.
Yeah.
Like hit these farmers markets up, support local anyway. Like that's what we should be doing in the first place. Because especially
is it
now,
cheaper
since your
local?
boy Bill Gates throwing this fake fruit out here.
Is it cheaper local?
I mean, it depends on your
No.
negotiation skills. Because
Well, yes, you can haggle. Yes, you can haggle the price for those items.
I think
Right,
that's
so
the point of
typically,
it. It's like not
if
really
it's
the
in
actual
season,
in season
typically-
housing. I think it's the price of everything is inflated.
right,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
and that was my point. I was going to relate it to wage growth, right? The jobs report came out last week, and I talked about this in my weekly market update, where hourly earnings are at 4% from a year ago, but at the beginning of the year in January, average hourly earnings was up 6.1%. So hourly earnings are actually going down from the last job report, 6.1% at the beginning of the year to 4% right now. And so, across the board, people are earning less, right? And then as you guys are talking about, right, some of those costs are still staying up or they're going higher because now it's either going through that market cycle or it's going through that business cycle to where, whoever's selling that produce or whoever's, providing that car insurance, they're starting to pass that cost on, right, to us, the consumers.
Right.
So it's just not keeping up. The page just not keeping up. And the guy said it perfect in that video.
Right. How did anybody want to tackle it from the real estate side, from the real estate angle? Like how the price of a house was 78 and now it's 412 is the average price. However, the income, to actually qualify for that house is less than most people make. So most people, like we talked about last year, can't afford the house, can't afford to get into the house.
If you take the perspective of the cost of the material, right? I learned this when we went through that shortage, that I think 30 to 40% of the lumber that we use for a house, it comes from overseas and it's not locally sourced.
Right.
So that is massive amounts of money that's marked up just because of the cost of lumber when we had that lumber shortage. And at that point, from that 78,000 to now, of course, we all knew the cost of living went up. I think the everyday worker skill set has not risen as fast as it should. Colleges are not really preparing kids for the everyday workforce in the way like it used to be. Trades are not pushing out enough trades. Enough trades associations are not pushing out enough trades to where they want to go be an electrician, where they want to go be a carpenter, where they want to go do those things because there's not a whole lot of money in doing it. The biggest money maker right now is these little boxes that we're sitting in front of. And with these boxes that we're sitting in front of right now, AI can damn near do what we're doing to a degree, like we've discussed, like I think 3 or 4 shows back, what the effect of AI is going to be on our industry and our world. You can kind of see that now as far as the job growth that Chevalier mentioned. Young folks got to get out there and learn more and be better prepared for what we're about to go into.
And if you think about it too, Hyman, they took all those trades out of a lot of schools, like early on, like high school. So
yeah,
they don't even have that introduction to what that could possibly look like because they want more employees and business owners, entrepreneurs.
Right. And here's the next thing: if the young folks decide to say, well, maybe I'm not going to say young people, say a 30-year-old man or woman decides to, I want to learn a trade, and they're working a regular 40-hour job, making that bare minimum of $60,000. They damn near have to go into debt just to learn a new trade, whether they go to a trade school, real estate school, go pick up a couple of courses at HCC. But if they don't barely have enough money to pay the light, water, gas, and the car payment, that's more debt, which increases the inflation, which increases every other issue that we have in today's world.
Right. Corey,
just
you
to
want
increase
to
another
skill? I give my synopsis real quick before we go to.
I mean, I'm saying if we're talking about the whole thing with the grocery store, I mean, it was the whole reason why the feds wanted to step in and try to control inflation. Inflation was completely getting out of hand. one of the things that we don't necessarily talk about is the baby boomers are in trouble right now because Social Security is not keeping up at the same pace that inflation is. When you got all of these different rental increases and things like that that's going on, the baby boomers are actually struggling right now to find a place to live. Because you know what I'm saying, on Social Security, they can't afford the increase, the continual increase of these apartment complexes. So what a lot of them have started to do is they had to start kind of going back to college. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? We 3 or 4 get together or whatever the case may be. Let's go ahead and try to put our incomes together to lease something so that we can have something and not necessarily be on the streets or have to be a burden upon our kids. So I think there's a lot of problems, not just with real estate, but I think, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's been controlled a little bit, but I still think we got more problems ahead.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
My synopsis is 2 things. I've never seen inflation roll back. I don't know, Patrick, have you ever seen that? Anything is deflated? There anything called deflation?
It is a
That-
such thing. Yes, it is. It's
Have
bad
you
too. It's bad too. You got to stay in the middle. Right.
Right,
You don't want to
so-
be on the right tail or the left tail.
Right. What happens when you deflate? What happens with deflation? What happens with a country when it deflates?
Right. Everybody leaves. Everybody leaves
Right.
that country. But typically what happens is the value of your dollar is worth nothing. Right. Think
Right.
about the exchange rate when you travel to Mexico. Right. $1 here is about $19 to $25 in pesos. That's
Right.
deflation.
Right. So, in other words, it's not going down. If it goes down, then that means we're in trouble. So,
Right.
what does that mean? It's here to stay. So, you can either, I would suggest 1 or 2 things. Well, both things. Number 1, we got a budget. We need to start cutting back and start budgeting the PPP money and everything. The prices, yesterday's prices are not today's prices. So, we got to get used to it. You know, especially with us, you know, people with the grays in the beard, we got to get used to those 1990 prices are gone. You know, so everything's up. So I got to start budgeting on and start really planning out and not spending as freely as you once did. How people go broke is that in their mind they're still making the same amount of money and using the same amount of discipline as they used to be before the changes took place.
Right.
And that's how you go broke. When you're
Right.
spending and you don't exercise the discipline, you're acting as if nothing has changed. You know, that's how you go broke. So you have to make those disciplinary changes in your life. You might not eat out as many times, 5 times. I might have to go to the grocery store and make this last 2-3 days instead of, you know, Uber eating 2-3 times a day. The money ain't there no more, you know. And then B, step it up. That's my biggest thing. Up your speed. All right. You know, let's go ahead and get with Greenwood Realty. Let's go ahead and get that license where you can make the side hustle and make you some extra income. Let's go ahead and work these weekends. Take these extra shifts. You know, go ahead and add some more income to the pot. Go ahead and make that 16-year-old get to that part-time job to pay for her own hair and nails. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's time to start getting smart because it's here to stay. You can't close your eyes and it's going to go away. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and not just that, shoot, collab. Like if you
Right.
if you
that
got
was my
a family,
third point.
if you got a family member or something, you both want to need a property or need a house to live in, pull your resources.
Right. I think we could take a lot from a lot of different cultures. We make fun of different cultures, these third world cultures and stuff like that, but they have something that we don't have. There's a communal sense. Just like we ate with kufi the other day, where it was family style. That's probably was cheaper than ordering each individual entree, where we could eat. You know, we could scoop off something off of each, and that's how a lot of other nationalities get done. They order 3-4 meals, and boom, we all get super full. You know, so instead of ordering, each one of us 2 pieces or 3 pieces of chicken, go ahead and get a whole chicken. You know what I mean, for the grocery store, or go ahead and get that pack of spaghetti that we all can eat off of. Getting that 1 pot of beans. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to start making those type of strategic moves in order to make it through these times, and that coupled with another source of income, or being more strategic.
I was gonna say, if you think about it, like a generation or two ago, shoot, family,
That's how they got in.
and they was having 12, 13 kids.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, my grandmother had
Right.
9. Like I was talking about
Right.
the daughter the other day.
Yeah, and
Right,
houses
right.
2-3 times as small as what we live in now.
Right.
It's like how was they making?
Right. Well, we
Right,
became
right.
more individualistic. That's the thing. It's like everybody got to have their own controller, their own Nintendo 64, or they know
Yeah.
Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah,
came
say
about.
Nintendo 64. You over there playing 007 over there.
Right. I'm playing Mario 3.
Right.
Mario World, you know. So, but nah, I mean that's what happened, man. You know, so you might have to look back, and you know that's what they say. History repeats itself, so you might have to look back historically to see how they made it. You know, so you gotta either that or you gonna, you know, winter's coming.
Yeah,
Winter's
Joe.
coming.
What's that? Sankofa? Look back to move forward.
Right. So yeah, you might have to look back. Oh, and just to touch on the real estate aspect, I would say you got to get creative. My thing is this with real estate. Instead of going in the new subdivision, instead of going chasing everything, go ahead and get in the hood, you know, and go ahead and get that house for cheap and do a rehab loan and get something you could afford. You know, go ahead and go ahead and do that FHA 203K right there in the hood that you grew up in. And get that way you can afford the house instead of trying to get that $400,000 house, get that $200,000 house and do $50,000 rehab where you can afford that thing. Until you get a different situation on the job, so on and so forth.
But Corey B, what's the max on the rehab for 203K?
I mean, there's two different ones. The smaller one, I think is limited. You only could do, what is it, 35?
30? I thought like 30.
35, 30. It's like 35. Everything rolled in.
Right.
And then there's the standard or the regular one. There's not really a max for that one. And then for conventional, you can only do 50%. 50% of the I believe it's total project cost.
Right. But
So that only sounds like half the house.
Well, this is the issue. This is what happens. Let's be all the way, and Corey could be my witness on this. Let's keep it all the way funky. Most loan officers don't know how to do a 203K, so they scare everybody from the 203K, and we don't want to take the responsibility of doing the 203K. We always want the stuff already ready, already moving ready. And don't forget, when you pay for convenience. You're paying a premium price for convenience. Like that's why a convenience store, you look at the dishwasher liquid at the convenience store is 5 times higher than if you go to the grocery store, because you're paying for it. It's on the corner as opposed to going to the grocery store. So you're paying for convenience. So you could do that same thing for a fraction of the cost because the materials are super duper inflated, as Hyman alluded to earlier today. You know, when you're paying for a turnkey. And people, we don't want that responsibility. We want responsibility of managing the project, being on top of it. We're losing out. That's what a lot of other people do. They take grandma's house and fix it up and live there until other things happen, until you can get that raise on the job. You know, why you got to be at the top? Because this is the thing. They said it. You're going to own nothing and love it and be happy. That's where you're headed. You're gonna own nothing. You know, and that's where we're headed. Anything else that we're about to go to the second? This is kind of tied to the next one. Then this is on the investor side. You know, I like to do flip. Anything else before we go to the next clip? Cool. All right, let's go ahead and rock it.
Building 5 houses on this lot right here, and this is the full breakdown of the entire process from the purchase of the land until getting it ready to build. I paid $200,000 for this lot, and it's a 10,900 square foot lot that can fit 5 homes. Closing cost was $1,871. The replat cost $8,664. Replat is when you rezone the lot into 5 individual lots so you can build 5 homes. I paid $1,600 for a soil report. This is when they drill holes on the lot and determine what type of soil there is to see what foundation I can build. There was an existing building on the lot, and it cost $15,439 to demo it. The architectural plans for 2 different floor plans was $16,787. I paid $14,362 to allow the 5 homes to connect to the city sewer line along the back of the property. I also paid $2,300 for the renderings of the houses to use for pre-sales. The construction loan with a bank cost $21,756 for the closing costs and fees. Also, I got builder's risk insurance that was $1,900. I'm going to be building 5 houses on this lot right here.
Bam. So that was twofold. I want to talk about, I like to do a consumer first time home buyer, then I like to flip it up to investor side. So Hyman, I'll open this one up to you first. Like, are investors seeing a lot more costs, as stuff is rising, especially those who want to build from scratch?
Yeah, the development costs. Those development costs were 90% accurate. I just didn't like the fact that he bought the lot for $200,000 and still had to do the impact fee, which is connected to the city lines. The goal in that situation is to find a lot that has those lines already in, and all you doing is just piping up from there. That way he could have saved a lot more, but it just depends on what part of the country he's in to do that. The renderings, the architectural design, the soil, all that is pretty fair and pretty accurate as far as the cost of it. What I talk to folks about when they say they want to develop a neighborhood, I tell them, man, you might want to get your feet wet and do a couple of rehab like you always talk about, and start creating a relationship with the architects, with the engineers, so you can understand what you're paying for when you call those folks out, because those folks, they are pricey and they want to get paid. Whether you build it or not, you're still going to pay for those renderings and those drawings regardless. So he was out. Even though he bought his dirt first, which was great, he was damn near out $60,000 before a stick went up in the sky. And for most investors, that's tough for them to understand that you're going to pay a bunch of money before you even see somebody out there throwing a hammer to the wood.
Right.
And my question is, how you only paid $1,800 in closing costs on a $200,000 land loan?
That's land. It's not that expensive on land.
If he would have bought it cash, then he just probably paid title fees, because I don't think he got a loan on the land. He got a construction loan to build.
Oh, okay, he paid cash. I was like, what's the down payment? Because it was like you got to pay 20, 25, 30% on lots on land.
Yeah, 30% down for dirt.
The title fees are not that expensive. The closing cost is not that expensive. You don't have homeowners insurance. You don't have all the other stuff. That's what adds to the closing cost. So just
I was just thinking he got a loan for the lot. That's what I thought.
Yeah, even if you get a loan for the lot, the closing costs are not as expensive as they are for a house.
I understand, but if he's saying, but that's my thing. If he got a loan for that lot and he's just talking about his closing costs and not talking about a down payment, then he's misleading people.
Very true.
Now, if he paid cash, I understand. But if you got a loan for that, he needs to talk about a payment they got to make too.
Because even 18 at CJ Stadium said $1,800 does seem a little bit low, especially when you pay $200,000 for the property. You know what I'm saying? Even going to just cash, right? So you know what I'm saying? If you're looking at a lot where you're paying $30,000, $40,000, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I can see that, but you paying $200,000, and then it depends on what part of the country he's in as well, too.
Right. Don't forget
that's not like he just got title insurance and he went back in and said he had to pay another $8,000 to replat it. So that was his survey. He didn't buy a survey up front. He bought a replatted survey that he was doing. So if we want to roll the closing costs in for the whole thing, he actually paid like maybe $10,000, $8,000 plus 18.
Right, and I think y'all see that's the advantage of being licensed multi-state. I think y'all looking at your Texas lands. A lot of parts of the country, the taxes are not that expensive, especially on raw land. It's not that expensive as they are in Texas.
Taxes, dirt in Texas ain't expensive either.
Yeah,
right.
Texas is
even lower in Georgia. That's my point. It's even lower in Georgia. It's different.
Yeah,
So,
and you know, we got higher property tax. We don't have state income tax. That's kind of like that.
right. Right. But my point is that this is tied to the previous clip. How are costs now, especially when you develop as compared to last year or the year before that? Has the inflation hit? Are you seeing like the same way as groceries?
Yes.
On the develop.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Look at new construction prices.
Yeah.
Right.
Because right now they're building. It's safe to say that they're building homes at about 165, right? As of today, probably $165 a square foot. If you notice, the homes are not getting bigger.
Nope.
Yeah,
They're barely building homes over 2,000 square feet, whether it be the 3-story townhomes or even just like that Pulte fly you sit out. That house is probably 1,500 to 1,800 square feet max. So they've decided to make a smaller footprint to keep the build costs down.
Yep.
And if you also notice, most new homes don't have as many windows in them. Have y'all seen that lately? It may have a total of about 6 windows throughout, and that's barely the bare minimum for egress situations. Each room got to have at least one window.
Right.
Yeah.
That
And if
opens.
you build a smaller house, you squeeze enough where you might be able to sneak in another right in there somewhere to get add an extra house in that development.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yes, development is feeling a squeeze of inflation as well.
Gotcha. From the you want to comment on this from the financial advisor? How would you advise some of your clients that I would say most of your clients do have real estate portfolios? Am I correct? So would you say, hey, now's not a good time to go ahead and invest in real estate, or is always a good time to invest in real estate?
Typically, real estate appreciates at 4% a year since 1990 on average. So it's always going to be a good time. You also want to keep that in your mix as well, right? Even if you're not going out and buying hard or real estate like you guys are talking about, right? They're REITs, REITs, what I love. That's a form or a way to get real estate in your portfolio. And by law, they have to pass at least 70% of their profits to the investor themselves. And so you get really nice dividends either each month, each quarter, or semi-annually, however they pay those. So yeah, as long as the numbers make sense, you always want to have some diversity in your investments in your portfolio, and real estate is one of the keys. A lot of the older folks that I work with, I always ask them, hey, what are some of the things you wish you would have done more of or done different when you were younger? And I'd say maybe 7 out of 10 of them say buy more real estate. I hear that all the time when I ask that question.
Right. I don't know what I'm more excited about, your answer or the fact that we first time in like months we got a full panel. Man, you know what I'm saying?
I thought REITs was kind of falling by the wayside after that last bust we just had. Well, not gonna say bust, but after the last downturn.
You say Regis?
REITs. I thought REITs
REITs
kind of took a nasty hit after that last downturn we had, man.
Like I said, they passed the majority of their revenue to the shareholder, right? So, that they're doing just fine. They're doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact, like I said, is don't wait to buy real estate and wait. REITs is one thing. Also, you got on a local level, the investment club, the COC investment club. So that's one thing. It's
Nice
like I
plug.
said, it's 4% hand over, year over year, and it's consistent, so real estate is one of those things that you really can't, I don't want to say can't lose, but it's very highly unlikely. It's very steady. And it's something that's a little bit less hard to understand for me, unless you got a professional as far as the stock market. So, it's very, very straightforward.
And you got to keep in mind too, the institutions and the hedge funds, right? Last 18 to 24 months, they were pouring a lot of money into real estate, right?
Mhm.
And you got to follow the money, right? They tell you where the opportunity is in a lot of cases where you see where the money's flowing.
Right. Well, let's welcome Barry to the go ahead. I know I got 2 more clips, so I know you can't comment. You ain't seen that last clip, but anybody want to comment on the developer clip before I go to the next one?
So I was curious. It looked like he was all in 300,000 before anything was built. Was that fair to say?
Yeah, like his total closing cost was 82, and then the land, the dirt cost them 200. So he's all in for but he's getting 5 what is
Right.
it, five units, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So hey, you
And so, what do y'all think those? What do y'all think those would go for? Because I was trying to figure out, okay, hey, how much money is this guy trying to make, right?
Well, this depends on what part of the country he's in. That's why I couldn't speculate on that. This depends on where you're at. Where
Yeah,
but
if he's in Houston for 450, he should be good.
Heck no, not
you
that.
mean?
Not based on that rendering. That rendering he showed.
yeah, my rendering.
That rendering he showed. Those are 2-story homes.
Right.
Anywhere in the country, if we use the law of averages, I'm gonna say he's right at about 400. And if he's 300,000 all in before he put up a stick, and we use that same average, he's gonna make roughly about 80,000 per house after all his fees.
Right.
I give him that. So he's looking to make 400,000.
That's what I just said. That's what I was talking about. For each unit is like 450.
Not for each unit. You said
you put that in Spring Branch. You put that in Spring Branch at Houston, you're gonna get 5.
Right.
And that's horrible. That little bitty house for 500,000 Spring Branch. That is horrible, man.
That's what they're paying.
They gonna pay
horrible, man.
They gonna pay you.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this as well. You're gonna have to, in order to keep up, start putting stuff. Either get creative with your financing, put more money down, or you're gonna have to start putting more stuff on the books. As far as your income, that second job, you're gonna have to be on that for 2 years or something to that effect. You're gonna have to start putting more income to where it's traceable in order to qualify. So, or you're gonna have to get creative, so your bank statement loans, stuff like that, and they got a lot of them coming in. I'm doing one right now that's a bank statement, low score bank statement. So a lot of people get creative now. So you're gonna have to in order to qualify for some of these homes. Let's go ahead to the next clip and go from there. This is more Patrick's album, but let's go ahead and get into it here. Bam. This is from a CPA.
Real estate. And let's talk about depreciation in the world of real estate. For an average investor, you can go buy a rental property. You get rental income, say $1,000 a month. You go take that to your CPA, and then they're going to take the asset, they're going to depreciate it over 27 and a half years if it's residential real estate. It takes a long time to recoup rental real estate over 27 and a half years to get the depreciation for that. Where you can get a little bit more aggressive is potentially qualifying as a real estate professional. What that allows you to do is it essentially allows you to push passive losses, which would be rental real estate, through and suck up with your ordinary or active income. For a real estate professional, what that would look like is, say they're making $600,000 a year. They go buy 2 rental properties and perform what's called a cost segregation. And they say, all right, we think there's $200,000 or $300,000 of 5-year, 7-year, or 15-year assets inside this home. We're going to separately identify those. We're going to apply bonus depreciation to accelerate the depreciation into not over 27 and a half years, but 1 year. So all of a sudden you have this rental real estate company that's pushing out $400,000 in losses, all due to depreciation. That gets sucked over into your other active income, boom, eliminates it, and there's no tax paid. That's a beautiful thing. Let's talk about real estate and let's talk about depreciation.
You talking my language on that. So I'll let Patrick get the first stab at that, man. He talking my definitely my language, man. I like the zero taxes, man.
He hit it right on the nose, right? Typically, you would do that depreciation for 27 and a half years. And the way that I look at that is just levels, right? If you have a simple situation, right, where you don't have a lot of tax problems, depreciating that asset over 27 and a half years is good for a lot of folks. Right. But if you have a lot of moving parts and pieces with your income, you're making money over here, you're making money over there, so on and so forth. Yeah. Then you want to take the extra step, take the extra time and pay that extra money for that cost segregation study, which is going to do that accelerated depreciation, like he said. Right. And you can take a lot of those deductions or losses up front on your tax return. That's pretty much the difference between the two. You can either take them all right now with the cost segregation, right? Depending on what your financials are, or you can spread it out over the long term, 27 and a half years. And that goes with that applies to a lot of situations where people are buying assets.
What does he mean for the audience that might not know? What does he mean that you could label yourself as a real estate professional?
Right. Just turn yourself into a business person.
Mm-hmm. So that means get a separate LLC for your real estate portfolio.
Right.
Right. So simple as that.
Right. And so now it's a business asset, and because of that, you can actually outline how fast that asset is going to depreciate based on how it's being used.
Right. Right. So again, it's all strategy, man, with this stuff. Anybody else want to chime in on this particular video? He's talked about depreciation. A lot of people, this is like the special teams of getting rich. That's why I'm fascinated with this no tax thing. A lot of people think offense is, of course, is making money. Defense, of course, is budgeting, but the special teams is paying that no tax. You know what I mean? So it's offense, defense, special teams to win a championship.
I always thought it was defense by paying no tax.
Well, I would say special teams. A lot of people pay taxes, and they just pay the taxes, and that's it. And they don't understand like there's ways to play the game. I don't IRS might be listening. I'll just go. There's ways. There's more ways.
What taxes?
The book
folks say what taxes?
How not to pay taxes as opposed to how to pay tax. The book is a lot bigger on how not to pay taxes. Am I correct, Patrick?
I think that's fair to say. I always tell folks that I'm into tax mitigation, not tax avoidance, right? And I always ask people, what's the difference? Hyman, what's the difference between tax aversion and tax mediation?
Tax diversion and tax mitigation? Mediation or mitigation?
Either
Which one would you say it again? Well, mitigate means you're just trying to reduce your tax debt if you may have one, or reduce them.
Right.
That's all you really want. And that's, as business owners, that's all we want to do. We want to it's not the fact that we want it. We're not going to have a tax debt because it kind of benefits us to carry debt so we can constantly leverage it. But we don't always want to give all the money that we've leveraged using debt back to Uncle Sam. So you take all these type of deductions. Like you said, the depreciation situation from a realtor who owns real estate, that is the biggest one for us. If you own a couple of rentals, run that rascal back through and count it against your income. Great deduction. Great. I'm saying it again, great. Because especially if you're paying yourself, like how you're supposed to pay yourself, through the LLC, even more great. Break even or even get a tax return if you do it right.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's defense, B. Defense. That's goal line stance. Uncle Sam ain't getting it today, baby.
Somewhat. I mean, it depends on perception. You call it defense, I call it special teams.
I hear you.
Special teams does have part of defending and changing over the ball. So this depends on how you change over the ball. You know what I mean? So anybody else want to chime in on it?
Look, what I would say is, depreciation is one of those things that's, to me, is greatly underutilized, especially for people that have businesses. People that have businesses, people that have property. A lot of people just kind of take your standard right off.
We beat your mom? Did she let you win?
Is he serious? Is he serious? Is he serious?
There is a mute button. You could mute yourself. There is a mute button.
What are you talking about, man? I'm talking about Michael.
Keep it real out there. They're gonna know it all.
Yeah, but especially for mortgage guys like me and B, you know what I'm saying, we love to see depreciation when it comes to tax returns because it's a double positive. You know what I'm saying? It allows for you to lower your tax liability, but it also something where we can add it back in and it doesn't hurt the income in order for you to qualify for a home. But I think for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, and like I said, especially business, there's a lot of furniture, there's vehicles, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can actually use to depreciate. But we look at tax returns and I hardly ever see it. I only see everything as an expense. And it hurts you when it comes to qualifying for a home.
Right. And that's what That's what I mean by special teams, because a lot of people don't see it as defense. You know, a lot of people don't. They see this budget and cutting back as defense. So you could use it either way. You could use it as a tool to even generate more income, like Corey said, or you could use it as a tool to actually just pay your taxes and you know, and you know, just go ahead and use it as another bill. You know, so you can make income or you can have it as a bill. So that's why I call it special. It's all on how you play it. You know,
Right.
Yeah, like Corey says, double positive. You getting a income generating asset that you can depreciate, and that saves you more money that you don't have to pay Uncle Sam. There are other avenues, like, you know, bringing on your spouse on the squad, pay her a salary or pay her something from the company. Like, there are different ways to do it, but I don't think there's one as lucrative as real estate.
right? Let me say this: I'm gonna have to go Myron Gaines on y'all for a second, man. You know, and let me say this straight up. Yeah, so
I should pay you for that.
let me get on my rant right fast, man. I gotta say this, man, and I've known intelligent people to do this as well. It's not just but especially those that's not aware. Stop going to H&R Block every year to get your tax returns. Stop going to the Walmart to get your tax return. Especially if you got an
LLC.
Huh?
They're gonna front on the money though.
Man, y'all got to stop it. Stop that. Don't forget that these people work for the IRS. You know, they won't say it. You got to ask them. You got to ask them. You got to corner them. Most of them work for the IRS. You know, so with that being said, they don't have your best interests at heart. You know, they're gonna. This is what you got. Okay, let me go ahead and run it on based on what you got. They're not gonna give you any strategies on how you can actually mitigate your tax expense. You know, so with that being said, go ahead and pay the extra $1,000 to save $5,000, $10,000. You know, stop it. And this is the main thing. We've been programmed, especially in I'm speaking of our community here, and for those that don't know, we've been programmed to is this one of those things that you do at the beginning of every year, and you think about it then. And the thing what you think about is this: all right, let me get my paperwork together and hand it in. You don't have a strategy. In order to have a tax, you have to have a strategy that's based on a few years. All right, I'm going to file this, all this. And that was the first thing I was talking to one of my mentees. He got several businesses. He got Airbnbs, all kind of stuff. I never thought about it. Blew my mind. Yeah, you got to have tax strategies. You got to have somebody, you know, you got to plan on this stuff, man. We need to start planning, man. Start planning families. Start planning for your debt. Start planning for your taxes. Start planning for your weddings. Start planning for your everything. Plan. That was my Myron Gaines for the day. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a second, you know what I'm saying? Let me say this, you know what I'm saying? One thing that he talked about in the video that I don't think we quite touched on is the fact of getting a cost segregation report on whatever it is that you have. You know what I'm saying? If it's real estate, if it's a business, whatever it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, and we're talking about a legit business. You know what I'm saying? Not if you slinging barbecue plates out the back of your car, then maybe, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't do you any good. But if you have a legit business, a cost segregation is something to look into. It's going to cost you a good amount of money up front, but I promise you it's going to save you a ton of money. 27 and a half years, like Patrick's saying, over the course of tax, it's going to save you a shit ton of money. So it's definitely something to look into.
Right. But we don't plan on this stuff. We program, all right, tax H&R Block, let me get that rapid refund. It's no thought into it. You see? And this is part of business. If you're going to be a business person, you got to have a tax strategy.
I don't think too many businesses go to those places, do they?
Yeah,
I think those are usually for.
More than you know.
I'm talking about I'm talking about Shirley doing lashes. I'm talking about these new LLC people, that just that just start doing the trucks. I got my Airbnb business. If you got Airbnbs, why you don't have an LLC like Patrick just alluded to? Why are you having this under your name, your personal name? What's wrong with you?
Right. I think the key word that you hit on when you were on your soapbox was plan, right? You definitely got to have a strategy. Even if you're not a business person, we've been talking about business people, even individuals, right? You guys buy and sell homes for people. You work with them to get those set up, right? If you're at a job, you've been working there 15 years, hey, I make $115,000 a year. I'm going to sell this home over here and make $200,000. What can I do to reduce those capital gains and keep more of that revenue from that sale? Right? You plan for that, right? You may not sell that property before 12/31 of this year. You wait till January 1st next year, depending on what your income is going to be next year. Easy little things like that will save you a ton of money along the way, right? And you look at that every year, right? And that's just for an individual.
Even though we might look like it this year, football, the Saints don't just go in the game. Let's go and see. Let's go and give it a try. They plan the whole week for this team, supposedly. Supposedly. They hadn't been looking like it the last. But you got to go in the game with a game plan. I don't get it. You're supposed to be in the game. You ain't planning on nothing. You're just reacting. You're going to get your ass handed to you.
Right.
And a lot of them definitely got to go with those hidden costs. You're going to pay for it. You pay. Your lack of knowledge costs you. So, Barry, you want to get in there, man? You've been awfully quiet. I had to get on my soapbox. My bad.
No, that's fine. No, I like a lot of what he said. Now, I would go to somebody like Patrick because a lot of that stuff I don't know about. So I'm going to go to him and say, hey,
Pat, you do taxes, Pat?
Not necessarily the taxes part, but what he was talking about.
Right. I provide the planning and strategy based on what you have going on. Right. So I have a tool that I use, right? But at the end of that process, I'll generate a report and say, hey, based on what you have going on, you should do this, this, and this. Here, give this to your accountant. Here, give this to your CPA. Here, give this to H&R Block. Right. So they can actually key in your tax return and do that work. So I provide you the strategy, right? But I don't key in your 1099 or whatever that is. I don't key that.
How much you charge for that report, Pat? How much you charge for that report?
It's actually, if you're one of my clients, it's part of the service I provide. Tax planning, that's just a part of it.
Right. Building wealth, man.
So,
you can't build
I tell people, hey, if I save you $5,000 in taxes this year, isn't that just like me making you $5,000? Most people say yes. And they're happy when they leave.
Let's get one more for the road. One more video, man. This is a hidden one. I ain't show y'all this. I ain't even look at this one all that hard myself. But let's go ahead and do this last one for the road.
Foolishness.
Man, hold up. Paul, stop the show. When have I ever did any foolishness, man? Come on. Everything I did for the last 8 years has been serious about business and enlightening. If I don't say so myself.
Oh, okay.
You saying so, you sexy.
All right, so everybody always talks about the good upside of real estate. Let's talk about the downside. Let's talk about what happens when you get the wrong team, the wrong contractors. I got a story tonight that's going to blow your mind. Project took 3 times as long as it should have, almost $1 million in the hole, because you had the right pieces, but they just didn't work together the right way. I got the guy that was instrumental in that. He was a very successful investor. This was just one where, hey, got away from him. So we'll talk about that tonight on the call with our No Flip Society. We're going to talk about how we rectified it. Then I'm going to have my team that came in and helped him fix it and get out of the hole, and how we executed on everything and got it done. So if you're in the No Flip Society, make sure you're on the call tonight. We're going to start about 7:05. Get there on time. It's going to be recorded for everybody else that can't get it. So this is going to be a good one. Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
Actually, this is not the one, but
was that the wrong clip?
7.9 billion in sales in 2022.
Exactly. Hold on a second. This
Seven-
one is-
If you are just starting your own business, the most important advice I can give you is always, always, always get a mentor. Find
this is it. Here we go.
somebody that's doing exactly what you want to do and learn from them. Do not try to figure it out. If you're in a business where it's competitive in a local market, find someone in another market, in another state, in another city, and get them to give you guidance and information so that you can have a shortcut to success. Even if you have to give them some type of incentive where they get a small percentage ownership or you pay them in some capacity, the most important thing you can do is pay somebody to give you guidance or partner with somebody and give them an incentive to make your business be successful. I would also say this: do not pay a whole bunch of consultants flat fees, hourly fees. Try to get consultants that are commission based. That means they have to perform. If you don't make money, they don't make money. That is a big key. Those people will be much more motivated to make sure you're successful, because if you're not successful, they don't get paid. If you are just starting.
Gotcha. My bad. On the first one, I just clicked on the first one. But what do y'all think about that? I've always been preaching this for the last.
Agreed.
That's real.
Get somebody.
Hey, you don't know what you don't know, so you try to get out here thinking you're doing something, especially in real estate. You're gonna end up getting sued.
Losing money real quick.
Right, real quick.
Faster than
you gonna pay one way or another. Right,
Yeah.
you're gonna pay either way. So might as well don't even just pay the money, don't take the L.
Right, but what do you say, like, with especially with our community? We either we got the know-it-alls, or we have the you have those that want to actually get the advice for free. I never got it, but you'll go into debt for college, but you won't pay a mentor for his time, and he's giving you stuff that actually put money in your pocket. College is teaching you to be a better worker. I never use trigonometry to this day. I'm not, so to this day, calculus, I never used none of that stuff.
What's
funny?
Hey, a lot of people will do a lunch to pick your brain to death, boy. It's like you.
Right.
It's like at some point you got to know your value too. If you're on the other side of the game, but people that's trying to take the cheap route, you get what you pay for, and that's real.
Right. What do you also isn't? If I'm not mistaken, Patrick, isn't mentorship like education where it is deductible as an expense?
Right. Anything that you spend in regard to a business, in most cases, is going to be a business expense. Right. It's just like when people go to those those speaking events, those seminars. Yeah, I mean, that's a business expense as long as you're going and participating. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with a mentor. I think I was thinking of it from another perspective. If you know someone who's been doing what you're looking to do for 20 years, right, they're going to save you a lot of headaches. Right. That's where that mentorship is going to be huge. They're going to save you time, money, and a lot of headaches. Right. And say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do it this way. Look at it from this perspective and attack it from here. That'll probably save you a year, 18 months. Right. And whatever it is your goal is. And so I think that's huge. But, not everyone is built to learn.
Right.
You really got to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what is it that I want to do? And how can I get there? And really listen to what folks will tell you or introduce you to. Right. You don't have to take all of it, because some of it is good, some of it is bad, but you learn a little bit here, you learn a little bit there. And you take the good pieces and then you put your own twist on it and you move forward.
And then, like even from a commercial real estate standpoint, if you're thinking about jumping in green and you don't know what you're doing and you think you're about to get a loan on commercial property, you might as well forget about it. They're not giving you anything unless you got somebody on your squad with the skill set and the finances to back you.
Really? So you can't get a commercial loan if it's your first deal by yourself? Is that typically how it works?
Not really. You there's commercial loans that you could get with a personal guarantee. If
You
you're
got to have a certain net worth or something, B?
No, not necessarily. You got commercial loans that if you got the 35% down and you have the 800 credit score, the 750 credit score, yeah, they'll finance you.
800.
Yeah, you got the 720 or whatever. Yeah, you got the 700 credit score. You're good to go. They will do it on the personal guarantee, especially because they're mitigating their risk by you putting that much skin in the game, 35% down. But there are business-based loans, like church loans and stuff like that, where they want to look at the actual books of the business and see if the business can afford the loan. So there's different types of loans. There's also private money where they might be an equity play. They want part of your business. Like he said in the video, like, hey, I give you part ownership if you take this chance on it. So but that's slim. That's harder to get. That's more private. You got to have damn near somebody to lead the way. You're not gonna. Those people are just not on the corner. Hey, I got a bunch of money I want to give. You got to know somebody that knows somebody in order to get those groups.
Yeah, but that goes to CJ's point, right? Just because you may be qualified on paper, you're not going to be able to achieve whatever it is you're going out to do in some cases.
Right.
Just by yourself.
Right. I definitely believe in mentorship. Like I said, I mentored under Mattress Mac for 6 years. Like I said, I learned again. I ate the meat, spit out the bones. A lot of stuff he did, I don't agree with. But there's things that he did was gold. I take that and keep going.
Right.
Right.
And that was my point.
Right. Yeah. Everything you're not gonna agree with a mentor, but it's gonna cost you either way. I tell a story all the time. I don't know if I told you about this Hispanic barber. I wish he's watching. KZ Fades, the dude that cut my hair, that had the video that went viral. How I found him, I Googled KD Barbers, and every platform he's popped up. TikTok, he popped up. Instagram, he's Facebook, he's popped up. Yeah, so it's like it makes you wonder, all right, well, he got to be cold because he's on top of everybody lips. He's on and popping. That's how people look. Social media, that's your line outside the door nowadays. Is how on and popping you are on social media. So this dude costs $70 a cut. I don't even have any hair. It's just to bald me and throw on the bed. 70 bones. So I asked him, but when you go in, it's pristine. You're the only one in there. He asks you, hey, what you want to play? Music? You want to watch TV? You want to, what you want to do? It's clean, no hair all over the place where you step in the hair. Pristine. Smell good. The whole nine. So he listened to you. All right, well, how you want me to cut it? Bye. He said, okay. You make sure, all right, you want me to do it like this? So he listens to you. So I asked him, all right, man, I said, you seem like you got it going on, man. How did you start? Like, man, he paid the dude 6 G's to learn digital marketing. And and that's how, he said he wants to go to 200 a cut in the next year or so. And I looked at him and his thing is packed. I went there twice, and I was the second time because somebody canceled. And like he's packed for like 2-3 weeks at a time. Like if I want to cut, beginning of next year, I just book now. Nah, for real. This is
right.
I mean, and then we can also talk about the story of Master P, how he got started.
Right.
Like he paid, I forgot how much he paid Michael Jackson's attorney to learn the game, but he paid him like 10-15 racks to find out, like, all right, I could do it 85-15 instead of doing what these other dudes doing and do more and build that way.
Right.
But he paid to play.
Right. But the flip side of that, and I said this on the Power of Ownership podcast, just because your boy was packed, this Hispanic dude was packed. Oh, just FYI, the video that he put on with me on TikTok, it had 1.4 million views. It had like 30-something thousand comments, and it had like 90-something thousand likes. So, it pretty much went a little, lightweight viral. You know, and it's on my.
He tagged you on it?
So is that your plug?
Right. He tagged you on it.
No, he tagged me on it. He tagged me on it. Yeah, I got. I don't know if I got any business off of it, but it did get me. Didn't give me a lot of new subscribers and stuff like that. But he did.
Yeah.
But he did tag me on it. But my point is, the flip side I was saying is that since he's so packed, so I went to the Kroger right across the street from me, and there's a barbershop right next to it. And these guys were outside. One of them gave me the card. They had a Fleur de Lis on it. They had a Saints symbol. I'm like, all right, let me give this guy a try since he's a Saints fan. So going now, they twirling their thumbs. Say, man, what to do with the Saints on the card? Oh, that's me in the corner. So I'm walking right in. Boom. 7 dudes sitting around twiddling their thumbs. So like, man, hey, y'all ain't on social media because I looked for y'all before. Y'all had no presence, man. Like, y'all ever thought about, really like, oh man, I'm a million and one excuses. I'm like, man, look at this Hispanic dude right down the street, really like less than a block away. He's packed, like, and he's charging 90 a cut. He's charging, 3 times more than what you charging. He's packed. Why are you twiddling your thumbs? Million and one excuses. Can't listen. Don't want. It's a malfunction. It's a glitch. I don't know what's going on. They don't want to listen to what's going on. So you don't want to seek mentorship. They don't want to better themselves. So all right, we'll stay broke then. Keep twiddling your thumbs.
Right. Right.
I'm trying to tell you what the dude doing. He's right down the street. He's not all that cold, skill wise. Actually, the brother actually colder than him.
Right.
Wow.
But he doesn't. Man, the Jizza said something real genius, man. That's why I guess they call him the genius from Wu-Tang Clan. He said, man, I seen brothers quote math and have all these degrees. He said these lip professing ass niggas can't feed their own seeds. So you could be as cold as you want in your profession, but if you don't talk it like you walk it, really, know about the holistic part of the business, you're gonna starve to death. So a lot of people don't embrace this marketing. All right, you're probably gonna. Well, it's a Bible verse as well. Doesn't say that sloth and pride will lead to leaky roofs or something like that. Leaky roofs.
Pride
You gotta
comes
get your
before the
scripture,
fall.
Huh?
Pride comes before the fall.
Pride, but it's something about sloth and pride leads to the leakage of roofs or something to that effect. You don't even notice your building about to come down on you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to get out there and let people know.
I just started listening to this Audible, this book, Relentless, and that falls right in line with that. It's like if you're not trying to be the best, if you're not trying to take yourself to the next level, you're gonna be like those dudes. And sitting there.
Sitting there twiddling their thumbs. It's the busy season. It's holiday season. Everybody want to cut around these times.
Right.
Yeah, why y'all ain't
all these Christmas parties, these galas, everybody trying to get fresh.
Right.
Like, man, but they don't want to listen. It's like I'm talking to a wall. Like, me and everything I'm putting up is another excuse. Well, I'm gonna wait till what are you waiting on? You take your customer base. Huh?
The issue with us, man, is that we as a people don't trust everybody. It takes us time to develop trust. It takes time to decide, say, I'm going to ask somebody for help, which is pride. Number 2 is the ability to decide who can I ask for help. You know what I mean? If you just because what you see on social media is his highlights, just so happen you actually got blessed with the right cat who did a good job, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't like his haircut, I wouldn't have paid him $70 for it just because.
No. Well, you talk about the Hispanic cat, yeah.
About the Hispanic cat, and that got somebody in. The question is, are you going to keep going back?
Right.
I would go back. Number one, for $70, I wouldn't go back, and I wouldn't go back because just because I saw you on social media, I'm just one of them old heads that I would go sit in the barbershop with the hair on the floor and listen to crack good jokes. That's all it is too for me. But I do see the perspective of the mentorship and the coaching. I just know for us as a people, we just struggle with trusting someone else to tell us what to do, then paying them enough to trust them what they're going to do, and then applying what they're going to do. We rather do what you're doing right now is go on YouTube, go to YouTube University, and hopefully we get enough information to take the next step in our business. And that's just how we are as people. There's the same benefit of social media and the internet also is the same downfall because it's so readily accessible. Why would a person want to go pay $1,000 a month to a coach that's telling you some of the same things that you can learn online? But for you to pitch that person to say, well, look, yes, you can see what I'm saying online, but you can't get the experience I had to get me where I'm sitting right now to know that, okay, I've done $1 million worth of transactions. I've helped multiple types of investors to create portfolios that's changed their lives. And that's what we struggle at as a people.
I think we're not serious. I think, like, why do you think Shador is so cold? He probably had coaching since he was playing bitty ball, and coaching is different from YouTube because they could see your weaknesses and they could coach you up on your weaknesses. And it's more personalized, so that's going to help you grow exponentially as opposed to just trying to cookie cut something. Somebody might say in general, don't forget this YouTube, even this video, this is just general stuff. This whole premise of this is to actually seek us out so we could get that personal touch to help you better your situation. So YouTube is not the end all be all. You need to seek out Patrick, you need to seek out Corey, seek out Barry, and so on, and so on forth to get that individual touch. And then put that pride aside instead of thinking that we can do it all. Huh?
What was that? What was that,
He ain't even gonna say CJ.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to mention CJ, because CJ, with the group that you have, don't you guys mentor the youth? Right?
Yeah.
That's the academy.
Right? And so you guys and everybody that works with you, they make themselves available to give time to that group, right? And they benefit. And so if you know you want to be somewhere or in a better position down the road, you have to go to places and make yourself available to that small group of folks, even if it is small, like CJ and his group, and and get to know those folks, and they're going to give a helping hand, right? And a lot of folks don't ask for anything; they just want everybody to do good. I want to see everybody win, even if you work with me or not, right? Even if you're my client or not, right? And so you just got to put yourself out there to where you do find those good people, right, who can give you that good information, right, to better yourself in whatever way it is you want to do.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about this podcast is coming from contribution, providing value. Like we could be, it's 3 realtors, 2 loan officers. Like we could be in competition with each other, but we collaborate. It's like it could have went a whole different way, but same thing with what Patrick was saying. We're coming from contribution. We want to help people.
Well, I seen a meme the other day, and I started to say that one and said, "Man, poor people compete, rich people collaborate."
That was mine.
Right. Oh, that was yours?
Yeah. I've heard that many times.
I forgot where I got it from, and I put it up. Yeah, poor people compete, rich people collaborate. Yep.
Right. So you got to realize they print this stuff. They ain't just because you got your money. That's not the last money that's ever going to have. I don't get that impoverished mind. Like it's like it's almost like I can't understand. Like my dog, sometimes I give them their own bowl, and they still fight over the food. You got your own bowl right in front of your face. It's equal. See, 1 scoop each. But they still fight over the food. But they go to show you lack of knowledge. Like, you're not aware. Like, all right, let me just stick to my own business. And I'm gonna eat this is good. Why are you worried about somebody else's plate?
Right.
So, but it is what it is, man. Anything else to add? I know we're a little bit over. We're about 8 minutes over.
Nah, it's a good one tonight. I said, it was a good one tonight.
Gotcha, man. With that being said, man, we're gonna see y'all next week. Next week is the week before Christmas, right? So yeah,
right. It'll be the 19th.
Yeah, we should be good to go. So we good to go. So we'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.